A convicted murderer was released early from prison. Shocking, I know, shocking. He was released early from prison under district attorney He was arrested on gun and drug charges. Released early? Yep, he's coming back for another round. He just couldn't get enough first time. Convicted of murder, he serves like 6 years out of a 50-year sentence. It's okay. I'm sure you'll be fine next time. Maybe just don't do any of that stuff with the M word in it. Just don't do that. That's not good. All right. Prosecutor said Cachu was free, armed, and loaded with drugs and running from the law when he got popped a second. How many times has this guy been popped? Who knows? But this is the kind of guy that these district attorneys are letting go. And you just, what could possibly go wrong here? Just let this guy go. I'm sure it'll work out and be fine. And the guy's out there just doing the same exact thing. And we wonder why our crime rates go through the roof. And we wonder in areas where you've got these district attorneys who just refuse to prosecute people. Well, how's this going to go? Well, how's it working out? How's crime in those areas? It's not great because you got knuckleheads like this and the knucklehead George Gascón, who just, he's the LA district attorney. He just won't prosecute anybody for anything. I just don't get that. It's like, why would you want to let these knuckleheads just run around? Because that's kind of your thing. You're just lawless society. That's what you're shooting for. Well, you're getting there and you're getting there fast. Convicted murderer released from custody after serving just 6 years of a 50-year prison sentence when an aide to Los Angeles County District Attorney George Gascón refused to call witnesses during a disposition hearing. The guy was arrested this week, allegedly with a gun, drugs, and after leading sheriff's deputies on a 3-mile car chase. So the guy's just right back out there doing the gang thing. He's got a gun, and we want to ratchet down the applications of regular citizens on gun ownership. You got this guy. This guy is out there. That's the guy you need to worry about. I mean, seriously, that's the guy you need to worry about. His access to guns. Guarantee you, he didn't go in and apply for a gun or a concealed weapon permit, did he? He's a convicted felon. He's a convicted murderer. So, what are you doing? Cachu, 25. I am shocked that this guy is 25. I'm looking at his picture. I'm thinking how my kids look. My kids are 26 and 29. This guy looks like he is early 40s. Yeah, right? He's 25 of Palmdale, faces 1 felony count each of fleeing and pursuing peace officer's motor vehicle and driving against traffic, possession of a firearm by a felon. Yeah, there you go. There we are. And possession of a controlled substance with a firearm, as well as 2 counts of possession for sale of a controlled substance, meth and cocaine. This guy should just be doing years and years and years. You know what? He's probably just going to get right back out again, isn't he? Probably. He's also charged with 1 misdemeanor count each of possession of cannabis for sale and driving under the influence of a drug. That seems to be the least of this guy's issues, but you throw them all at him. He did 6 years for killing somebody. Only 6 years. That's insane. Cachu, booked into Los Angeles County Jail on $500,000 bail, was arraigned Thursday, July 21st. All right. Around 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, deputies responded to a report of a vehicle blocking traffic near the intersection of 30th Street and Avenue R in Palmdale, and said a senior Los Angeles County prosecutor who asked not to be identified because they're not authorized to speak about the case. Deputies found Cachu asleep and slumped over the steering wheel of a vehicle. How'd you get caught? I was napping. Oh, how'd you get caught? I was napping behind the wheel of a car on a street. Yeah, it didn't end up well. They attempted to awaken Cachu by knocking on his window and were successful in their attempt. They woke him up. They got him. He wakes up, sees a cop and goes, "Oh no, I'm in trouble." When he awakened, the deputy said he appeared to be under the influence of a controlled substance. Shocking, right? The guy's running around with meth and what was it? Coke? Was it Coke? Coke and some weed? They also allegedly observed a firearm in his waistband. You're looking down and the guy's got a gun right in his waistband. That's good. That's good. Cachu led deputies in a high-speed chase that spanned about 3 miles, the senior prosecutor said, adding the suspect blew through lights. He didn't stop for lights. He didn't stop for stop signs. I am shocked. And wrong-way traffic. Cachu eventually crashed the car, fled on foot, ditched the gun, and was apprehended in the 1800 block of East Avenue Q10, said the prosecutor. Gascón said he is disappointed that Cachu has not availed himself of the support that he so clearly needs. He's mad at the guy for not getting better? The guy killed somebody. You honestly think he's just going to be, this is my chance, I'm going to take it? Yeah. Adding that he is grateful no one was hurt and vowed to hold the suspect accountable. Rightio. And that's why you've got a recall going against you, George Gascón. You get a recall. I think last I read, they got all the signatures in to have him recalled. I believe they needed like 567,000 signatures and they got like 700,000 signatures, something like that, 700 something. They got more than they needed to, but there's like a 20% throw out rate of signatures on recalls. And I might be getting that confused because there are so many recalls going on in California. Those politicians, they hire those politicians, they vote them in, and then they're all just shocked when they actually do what they say they're going to do. Like, I can't believe he's letting people out. I mean, And then they're like, we need to recall him because this isn't working out the way we thought. Well, what did you think was going to happen? Yeah. Make your vote count, right? Cachu was released in 2021 from the prison term he was serving in the fatal shooting of a 41-year-old Luis Amila outside of a Palmdale restaurant. You know who else is from Palmdale? Afro Man. Love me some Afro Man. Colt 45 and 2 zigzags. That's all we need. So outside a Palmdale restaurant in March 2015, he was tried in an adult court, even though he was 2 months shy of his 18th birthday at the time of the shooting. 2017. If you kill somebody, I think you qualify as an adult. In 2017, he was convicted of murder and robbery and also received sentencing enhancements for gang and gun allegations. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. I mean, would you have guessed that he's part of a gang? Those tattoos on his neck. I don't know. He just got them for, appearance sake, and he just enjoys a good tattoo. Under changes in state law since then, however, Cachu was entitled to a retroactive transfer hearing to determine if his conviction should have been in juvenile or adult court. Somebody kills somebody, who cares what court they get tried in? Just put them away. But juvenile is just so much more lenient than adult court. And yeah, sometimes I think some of these kids doing the stuff out there, and they're out there doing it just because they know if they get busted and they're under 18, and everybody else knows it within the system too, they're just going to walk free. It's all right. Not 18 yet. Because a juvenile cannot be held in detention past the age of 25 in California, a 2-day hearing in the Michael Antoniovich Antelope Valley Courthouse, what a long name, was necessary to determine if Cachu could continue to be incarcerated for the full length of his sentence. Well, he did take another human life. So I would say yes, but I would never get voted in as a judge, would I? Give him 10 years. Don't care that he stole some bubble gum. 10 years. Lock him up. That wouldn't go over well. Judge Brian C. Yep indicated during a hearing that a decision by Deputy District Attorney Elisa Blair, a special assistant to Gascón, not to present any evidence tied to his hands, resulting in Cachu's release. So basically, District Attorney, by not presenting this evidence, got him off. Let him go. There's been negligence and inadvertence on the part of various entities throughout. It's ended up in this position, and the court had nowhere to go with it. Got to let him go. Because this special district attorney, special assistant to the district attorney, just basically wouldn't do her job. Didn't want to do her job. Just like, it's okay. I'm sure the guy will be fine. He's found asleep with a gun in his waistband and a bunch of drugs. Oh, yeah. He's really taking advantage of the opportunities to reform his life and reimagine and rethink things going in a different direction. But there is no evidence that provides the court with anything to help keep you in custody any longer. We got to let you go. Sorry about that. Hope you have a good life. Don't want to see you again anytime soon. Days later, the guy's back in jail. Yep. Then asked Cachu what he planned to do with his life. My main thing, I want to be a motivational speaker or in, quotations, just continue my gang life, crime spree. I want to be a motivational speaker. I want to be able to go to juvenile hall and juvenile camps and talk to people and try to lead them in the right direction and just give them my testimony and try to help them before they end up in the situation where I was in, Cachu responded. And he goes out and just starts gangbanging. It's so standard. Following a May 10 hearing at the Antelope Valley Courthouse, isn't it standard? I mean, you always hear and you always see in the media, this individual, even though he was just brought up on some atrocious charges, he was this close to turning his life around. I mean, he was on the cusp of turning over a new leaf. He was really becoming a new man. And he was going in a different direction. At one point in time, he was going this way, which clearly we all knew wasn't going to work out for him. So then he tries to go this way, and he was so close. If he hadn't committed this horrible, horrific crime and got caught, he'd be making a new life for himself. Yeah, well, he didn't, and that's not the way it went. So you got to work with what you got. Throw him in jail. So following a May 10th hearing at Antelope Valley Courthouse, Cachu's mother, Bertha Cachu, was jubilant about the assistance Blair was providing during a 20-minute phone call she had with her son in lockup. Bertha Cachu, who had attended the hearing, told her son why Blair's assistance was crucial. The Gascón special advisor, she explained in a recording of the call obtained by the Southern California's news group. Oh my God, she's going to be coming in your case. Did you hear that, man? She's good. She's the one I've been emailing back and forth. I think we can get your guy out. That's great. Yeah. And so you got a convicted felon out just running around. You got a convicted murderer running around doing this nonsense, leading police on a chase. Gascón, in his statement, also addressed why his office did not offer witnesses at Cachu's transfer hearing. Based upon the facts of the case and the individual characteristics of Mr. Cachu, we determined that when we would not likely prevail in a transfer hearing because we would not prove that he would not have benefited from juvenile resources at the time of the original offense, again, as the law requires. That's such nonsense. This is just such BS, but it's the law. And this is why we've got just these people running around shooting each other, shooting one another, shooting innocent people, and doing their thing. And they're gang members. Lock them up. Throw them in jail. We are frustrated to see that he is struggling, and again, we'll hold him accountable for the charged offenses. Struggling? He's not struggling. He's doing exactly what he wants to do. There's no struggle. He is just not on a path to being a good individual, and everybody knows it. He's a member of a gang. So what do you expect? You think he's just going to, at age 25, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm overturning a new leaf, and I'm really going down the path of the, straight and narrow. Maybe there are a few handful of cases out there like that, but the vast majority of what we see is people taking advantage of the system. They're bucking the system. Eric Siddall, vice president of the Los Angeles Association of Deputy District Attorneys, said Gascón's statement is untrue. What is George Gascón under recall is saying something that may or may not be true? I am shocked. George Gascón's never engaged in individual case analysis in this case, he said. If he had, he would have realized that Cachu's criminal history, including committing a murder and limited prospects for rehabilitation, that's what I'm saying, meant he should have been in adult court. Instead, Cachu is free, armed, loaded with drugs, and running from law enforcement. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? Just booking it out of there in his car. This all happened because of Gascón's one-size-fits-all policies. This isn't an isolated case. So this is the stuff that's going on a daily basis. And when you see crime rates just escalating in these types of cities, you're like, well, that makes about sense. I mean, why wouldn't they? Right? I mean, this is a micro example of the policies that are leading to some of these cities to become just trash. And this is LA in general, right? I mean, this is George Gascón, the district attorney for LA. In another instance, Victor Bibiano, 30, was arrested in April for the slaying of a transient in Pokeyama and was released from prison in 2021 after serving just 8 years of a life sentence for a double murder because Gascón refused to transfer his case from juvenile to adult court. I mean, so it's not a one-off, right? You've just got this stuff going on. And you got these district attorneys who are like, it's mostly okay. We're not going to, we're really sorry to see he's struggling. And we understand and believe that he was this close to turning over a new leaf. He was so close. We wanted to help him. Just got to let him be free. And once he gets free, we know he's going to turn over that leaf and really get on the path of straight and narrow. He's even going to go to church. Guy's going to go to church. And then we also had a motion to transfer the child assault case of Hannah Tubbs, a 26-year-old transgender woman from juvenile court to adult court. Tubbs, who was just 2 weeks shy of her 18th birthday, was arrested after DNA evidence showed that she sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl in the women's bathroom of a Denny's restaurant. You got trans assaulting a 10-year-old girl in 2014. After that happened, George Gascón, there's major backlash in the policy and the handling of that case. Gascón announced a modification to his office policy not to charge juveniles as adults regardless of the crime. You know what? I think sometimes you got to throw the book at them. It might be under the age of 18. They might be 17. They know what they're doing. And the only way you're going to teach them right from wrong is give them some time to cool their jets and think about what they're doing. You might say that ruins their future, but how about the victims of their crime? How are they doing? Yeah. Like every responsible office, we learn as we go. This is George Gascón. Like every responsible office, we learn as we go. We take feedback from the community and make necessary adjustments based on just a bunch of nonsense, right? Based on our experiences and the complex nature of this work, he said in the statement. No, throw them in jail. Let them cool their jets. Not what we're doing. That is the responsible way to govern. I thought the responsible way to govern when your district attorney is to keep the bad guys off the streets so they're not falling asleep with a gun in their waistband, a bunch of drugs in the back, and then they're able to turn the keys on in their car and just book it out of town. Follow those police officers, have those police officers chase them for like 3 miles down the road. That's good use of resources, isn't it? Yeah. What do you want to bet? This guy's out and he's out on bail in the very, very near future. And he's just out still just doing his own thing. You hear about this so often. Somebody, does a crime, gets convicted of said crime, does a little bit of time, and then boom, they're out. You're like, what is going on? How is that guy possibly out on parole doing his thing? It used to be you'd put a criminal in jail for a long, long period of time, and you have to sit there and get through those years of good behavior and all that. But man, now 6 years on a 50-year murder sentence because of a technicality, it doesn't really help out that victim's family, does it? Oh, that guy's out? Oh, that's awesome. No. Somebody's life was lost. Somebody loved their loved one, lost their loved one. And George Gascón is going, well, sorry to see he's struggling. He'll do better next time. I don't think he will. I don't think this gang member will. This illegally armed gang member back out on the streets selling drugs is going to get better anytime soon. So in the meantime, let him cool his jets in prison because that's where that guy belongs. All right, that's it for me. Thanks so much for being here on this one. I will catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.